Jai Gurudev and Jai Masters. Lately, I guess you all are going deeper and deeper because we've been talking pretty deep. Not just the deep inner understanding of what's going on, but what to do about it. So let's start with something that really doesn't get any deeper in terms of your sadhana, your techniques, your work, your practices. The more you grow, really grow, the more you're going to see that the ego is the problem. Meher Baba said, man minus mind equals God. You're going to find that that's true. That when the mind gets still, when the mind is quiet, something very, very beautiful happens. A door opens, and different beings have gone to different levels through that door. But the door does not open when it's closed. And the more you pay attention, the more you're going to see that ego is what closes it. That the self-concept, the preferences, the hopes, the dreams, the beliefs, just the whole little you. We'll call it the little you. It's not you, but the little you is what blocks the Shakti, is what causes the mind to be so active. You know that. I don't have to teach you that. Buddha said that, the cause of all suffering is preference, is desires. You know that. You know that when you want something, your mind is very noisy. When you don't want something, your mind's even noisier. Don't you know that? Okay? You just notice. Now, you haven't been taught through all your schools, through your teachers, through your parents, through everything, that that's a problem. You know it's a problem because you're not comfortable. The problem is that you think the solution is to feed the monster. You think the solution is to give the ego what it wants so that it doesn't cause so much trouble. And every one of you know that. You just don't frame it that way. Okay? If you want something, it's a problem. People say, oh, desires are beautiful. No, they're a problem. They're beautiful when you satisfy them. Okay? But if you have a burning desire inside and it's not being satisfied, you're not comfortable. So don't paint a picture that's not true. And if you have a fear inside, a major aversion to something, you're not comfortable. Now, should you get rid of it? Should you win the game? Should you pay somebody off? Should you run somebody away? Should you go away? Whatever it is, should you extricate yourself, either by extricating itself or extricating yourself from the situation, you're doing better. No one has ever argued that that's not true. No one ever argued that getting what you want doesn't feel good. At least no wise person has ever argued that avoiding what you don't want isn't a relief. The problem is you haven't changed anything. The next time it comes up, you're going to be troubled again. Next time it comes up, you're going to have desires again and preferences again. It doesn't go away by satisfying it. It just gets quieter because you satisfied it. And so the baby who's throwing a tantrum in the store, I guarantee you give the child what they want, they'll shut up for a while. All right? But you're training them in a ridiculous way. You're training them that if they throw a tantrum, they're going to get what they want. But it is true that if you give them the toy that they want or pick them up or do something they want, they're going to shut up for a moment, aren't they? But every one of you know better than that. But you don't know better than that with yourself. That's the funniest thing in the world. When you throw a tantrum inside, they do throw tantrums in there, don't they? You do everything you can to get what it wants. That's the same thing as the child throwing a tantrum and you solving it by giving it what they want. It is not going to go away. It just reinforces the entire pattern. But that's how everybody lives. They think that getting what they want is what it's all about, and avoiding what they don't want is what it's all about. The trouble is nobody ever got anywhere like that. They just keep trying to get what they want and avoid what they don't want. Go check your grandparents out, check your parents out, check your children out, check everybody out. Go to rich people, go to poor people. Everybody is not okay. Therefore, they're trying to get what they want and avoid what they don't want. Now, of course, everybody wants different things, and everybody doesn't want different things. That which turns you on turns her off. That which turned you on yesterday turns you off today. And that's so easy to explain. Skinner did a wonderful job. He said, man is the sum of his learned experiences. That's not true. You are the consciousness that is aware that your ego, your self-concept, your psyche, is the sum of your learned experiences. That's why I said to you, you could want something today and not want it tomorrow. How? She's been really nice to you and she's everything you ever thought she'd be. She's so perfect, everything, right? That was today. Tomorrow, she says one thing that you didn't expect. One. At least you think she said it. That's all it takes, isn't it? And all of a sudden, it doesn't turn you on anymore. You're the sum of your learned experiences. You just won't believe it at the level that it exists. Every single preference and fear and aversion you have inside is a learned experience. You can't always point to it because it's going to be the sum of your learned experiences. But the point is, if you like a particular color, there's a reason. If you all of a sudden don't like a particular color, there's a reason. If you like a particular person, there's a reason. If you suddenly don't like the person, there's a reason, isn't it? And the reason is another thing happened that became the sum of your learned experiences. I can't go any further if you don't understand that. You did not decide what you like. You just noticed it. Where did it come from? Well, when you were little, you had a blankie that was blue, and they took it away too soon. We'll get into psychology. All right? They took it away too soon. You either hate blue or love it. You are not deciding these things. You are programmed by the experiences you've had. You don't know that because the experience becomes part of you, and then you express it, and it just becomes, your heart opens. Why? Because it matched some experiences you had. You saw a movie once, and it had a certain kind of dog in it. You've always wanted a dog like that. And now you met somebody that has a dog like that. You're in love with him or her. Not the dog, the person who has the dog. I tell you, you're that crazy. Okay? And the dog runs away, and now you're destroyed. I don't know what to tell you. All right? The psyche is the sum of your learned experiences. It's exactly the same as a computer is nothing without data. It can't do anything. It's nothing without data. And it's only as good as the data you give it, and all it does is rearrange the data. Well, your mind is a computer. It has taken in the data of your past experiences and your current experience, hasn't it? You don't have to do anything. Right? You think it's a big deal you can talk to a computer. You think it's a big deal you can type into it. This computer in there just uses all your senses. You don't have to do a darn thing. It just comes in through your senses and programs you. Do you understand that? Really? That's a very deep thing to understand. That's where the self-concept came from. It came from the sum of your learned experiences. That determined who you think you are. And who you think you are is based on what you like and what you don't like. If you ask somebody, who are you? Well, I'm the one who did this in the past, and I like this, and I believe in that, and I don't believe in that. What are you telling me? That you are your past experiences? No, you're the one who had your past experiences. Were you there before you had the experience? You were there? Okay, you're experiencing it. Okay? It's like if you sit there and tell me, who are you? I'm someone. We don't do it anymore. It's not politically correct, thank God. Who are you? I'm so-and-so's wife or husband. I'm Peter's wife. Really? How long have you been with Peter? A year and a half. How old are you? 43. Well, if you're Peter's wife, that's who you are. What was going on before Peter? You didn't exist. No, you're the same person. You're the same consciousness. You just had an experience that was strong enough to make an impression on you to now you're defining yourself as that. What happens if Peter's a bad boy and he runs around and does stupid things? Now you're no longer Peter's wife. You got divorced. Who are you? I'm the person who divorced Peter. Or if you really got divorced, the word Peter doesn't even come up. I don't know what Peter you're talking about. It's like the sum of your learned experiences. And you build this concept of yourself based on that. Let's call that the ego, the self-concept. What psychology means by the self-concept, I think certain things right. What is a concept? It's a thought. A concept is not reality. A concept is a mental image of something, isn't it? I played a game. What do you think a blah 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 tastes like? A what? Blah blah blah. I don't know. What do you think it would taste like? Kind of blah blah blah, like a banana that's over fried. Well, you make up whatever the heck you want because you don't know. It's a concept. Okay, so you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. You just, I'm there and I'm looking around. A lot of data's coming in. So which piece of data do I want to define myself as? I'm the one who played Dorothy in the 6th grade in Wizard of Oz, and everybody clapped. Oh, that's who I am. You want to know how you know that's your self-concept? Go to your 6th grade reunion and have somebody else say she played Dorothy. And let's see what happens inside of you 30 years later. Ah! Yes or no? Okay? I give you little examples. You have to extrapolate into the examples that you can relate to because it's true. So you built a concept of yourself by picking one from column A, two from column B, and either like or dislike. I'm the one that likes this, and I don't know who so-and-so hurt. Oh, you're that one, aren't you? I'm the one who my parents got divorced when I was little, and I hated my stepfather. And that's who you are, is it? And that's not who you are. That happened 30 years ago. What are you doing defining yourself as that? That's not who you are. I want to know, if you picked one from column A and two from column B and so on and so forth, and put together an image of yourself, who did that? I said, you did that. Who's the you in there that did that? Let me ask you a question. I told you we're going to go deep tonight. Has it ever fallen apart for you? Have you ever built a house of cards by picking one from column A, two from column B, and putting them together and gluing them together and sticking them together, and this is who I am? I'm so-and-so's wife, and it's so-and-so like this, and I'm like this, and I got an A in school. I always get A's, and it was this and that. The professor really loves me. I'm the teacher's pet, and it's the thing that we live in a really nice house. And I thought, okay, has it ever just gone boom, and all of a sudden you don't even know who you are? Then you're really lucky. Because it's probably the worst experience you had in your life, and it's the most important you ever had. Because it proves that's not who you were. If it can fall apart, but you're still there, suffering, but you know what does it feel like when it falls apart? It's scary as can be. It's unbelievable. It's hard to live. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to do anything. You don't even know who you are, right? Who is it that doesn't know who they are? I don't know what to talk to you. You're still in there, aren't you? You're still feeling the pain. You're feeling the suffering. You're feeling the confusion. You're sitting there grabbing anything you get your hands on to try and redefine yourself. People do redefine themselves, don't they? By the way, the house of cards we just talked about, that's exactly what Christ meant when he said, don't build your house on sand. He wasn't talking about a house. He was talking about your house where you live in there. You do live in there, don't you? Okay? Spirituality is a very deep thing. Okay? It's not some nice little thing where you get what you want. It's about understanding who you are. It's about self-realization. So basically, you have built this concept of self, and you know you have. And it's changed through the years because you have different experiences. You change, and so on. Who does have those experiences? Who is in there clinging to what you like and pushing away what you don't like? Who is in there? You're in there. Well, that is what witness consciousness means. It means the self, the Atman, the soul, the consciousness. I don't want you to talk about God consciousness. I want you to talk about your consciousness. That's where you start. You start where the rubber hits the road. Are you conscious? Are you a conscious being? Are you aware of things? Are you aware you're doing the stuff I just talked about inside yourself every single moment of every day? Manipulating this, pushing that away. Then you go outside and try to manipulate that so it's the way you want. It's very, very busy in there. Who's doing that? You are. So basically, spirituality is about realizing I don't have to be doing this. I will never know who I am if I'm always out there running away from myself and grabbing for myself and trying to be comfortable by getting what I want and avoiding what I don't want. I'll never know who I am. I'm very busy doing that, okay? And you know it doesn't work. I woke up early in my life, okay, in the 20s, and I asked myself, wait a minute, have I been doing this my whole life? Yeah. Have I my whole life been trying to get what I want and avoid what I don't want? Okay. How dumb do we have to be that if you do something every single moment of your whole life and you notice you're still doing it before you wake up and realize it doesn't work? I mean, what kind of thing? You're doing for years and years and years every moment of your life, trying to get what you want and avoid what you don't want, and it keeps changing, you keep trying, and you're just exactly the same. You're still doing it. And someday, that's what spiritual is. That's spiritual awakening. You have to have images and see things. You just wake up like, wow, okay. So what does it mean that I realize it doesn't work? And what do you do if you realize it doesn't work? You realize that, yes, when I have times that are really beautiful, that it really is everything I ever wanted, and I feel tremendous love, tremendous joy, tremendous inspiration, and just a lot of energy. I'm up. Ever been up? We're talking about falling apart. Ever been really up? You can just take on the world. Where's that coming from? Yes, you fell in love with somebody, but the love was inside. You don't feel the love outside. You feel the love inside. And they are not the source of your love. I don't care what you say. I'm sorry. I'm not that kind of romanticist. How do I know that they're not the source of my love? Because they say one word you don't like, you don't feel love. By the way, they don't have to say it. If they don't say what you want, you don't feel love. In other words, you're doing this. It's completely you who's doing this. You are either opening or closing. When you are open, you feel love. You feel joy. You feel energy, don't you? You feel enthusiasm. I just got this new job, man. I just can't wait to go to work. It's so exciting. I've never had a job that I was so excited to go to. All right, wait till they change your boss. And somebody gets in and gets the corner office, don't get the raise, and they do. See what happens. It closes down, doesn't it? It doesn't close down. It's just the job. You close down. Or you open. And it's as simple as that. And I've been through this in detail with you guys. It's about opening and closing. Opening and closing what? Your heart and your mind. Well, I like my heart when it's open. I don't know about you. And I like my mind when it's open. Being able to handle things, appreciate things, respect things. It's a very nice state, an open mind and an open heart. All right? Who closes it? Me. This is so funny. I close it. If he doesn't like something, then he closes his heart. He closes his mind. That's the ego. That's what I'm talking to you about. Why would you close when it's so beautiful to be open? Because you have a part of you that you have become addicted to that is the sum of your learned experiences. Your learned experiences are very nice. Yes, you've had experience. Everybody has experiences. But, learned means past tense. They're over. You're not 5 years old. Your parents aren't getting divorced anymore. Your ex-husband was 5 years ago. It's like, it's all over. But it's not over inside of you. Why? Because you build a concept of yourself based upon those experiences. And that's why it's still inside of you. Because you think they still matter. They don't matter. If they're not happening, they don't matter. There's not a reason in the world you're bothered by the past. Except that you decided to bother yourself about it. It's not happening. Why would you be bothered by what's not happening? It's not happening, is it? It happened 20 years ago. Why would you be bothered by it? Because you held on to it and you built a house out of it. I'm the one that didn't like that my parents got divorced. I'm the one that didn't like that my sister did this. I'm the one that didn't like my first girlfriend. Do you understand that? You took these past experiences, and again, column A, column B, one from this, and you built this thing inside yourself. It's called the ego. It's called the self-concept. Well, you got it down now? All right. It closes you. Nobody in their right mind would ever close. It's so beautiful to be open, but you will not be able to be open because it has decided its preferences and its views and its opinions and its hopes and its dreams. It builds all that stuff. Then if the world unfolds that matches, it opens. If the world unfolds that doesn't, it closes. You don't close. You watch it close. Do you watch yourself close? Do you notice when you're going to close? Who is this that notices? That's what the entire spiritual path is about. It's not about whether you opened or closed. You're not opening and closing. The ego is. Your self-concept is. Your psyche is. The aura is. But you do notice. That same you who watched it close watches it open. Isn't just one of you in there? That's the one. That's the self. That's the Atman. That's the essence of your being. The one that is always there. That notices what's going on in there. All right. So how do we grow? What does that mean? Like I said, first, be aware that you're in there. You are in there independent of whether your heart is open or closed. You're the one who notices your heart opens and closes. You're the one who notices that your mind, you say, God, my mind's been bothering me lately. How do you know? How do you know your mind's bothering you? I'm not being a therapist. I'm not going to help you with your mind. I'm going to help you know you're not your mind. And that's much better. Right? If somebody helps you with the problem you have with your mind, you better go back next time because you have another problem. Oh, they're such a good therapist. It works so good. I go every week. Why? No, it's not the same problem. It's another one. Of course it is, right? No, it's the same problem, but I'm not getting what I want. It just comes in different flavors, all right? No, it's not about my or you or anybody understanding why your mind is bothering you. If you want to grow spiritually deeply, and I want you to, you understand that you're the one who notices that your mind is bothering you. And you do notice, don't you? If you didn't notice, it wouldn't bother you. But you do notice. Just like you notice a picture on the wall. Just like you notice a drinking bottle. You notice a mind that's bothering you. Good. That's very high. That's very beautiful. By the way, that's your way out. That's a secret escape route. That you don't have to sit there and manipulate the mind and get it a certain way and get the heart a certain way and get the world a certain way. Give me a break. Good luck. Because you're not going to get it. There's no way you're going to manipulate your heart, manipulate your mind, and manipulate the world and everybody in it to be the way you want so that everything's okay. Have you noticed? All right? Nobody's okay because they're trying to do that and it can't possibly be okay. So when you notice that you notice, that's witness consciousness, objective observation. You notice that the mind is misbehaving. I'm having a bad mind day. Some people have bad hair days. I have a bad mind day. So you have a bad mind day. Ever have a bad heart day? I bet you've had a bad heart day. How do you know? That's what we're going to talk about. We're talking about the real growth that liberates you. It is not about changing what you're looking at. It's about knowing who's looking. Because I'm telling you right now, you who's looking are fine. You're always fine. But what you're looking at is not. If you look at something that's really messed up and smelly and dirty, you're not messed up and smelly and dirty, but you feel it, don't you? Because you identify with what you're looking at. There, that was a very good one. Did everybody get that? Right? If you look at a cesspool of smelly, pukey stuff, how do you feel? Ugh, terrible. Why? You're not it. It's looking at it. If a light shines on something, and then what it shines at is beautiful, what it shines at is all broken down and terrible, the light's not different, is it? It's the exact same light. It's not different at all. It's the same thing with consciousness. You are looking at it. So the problem is not what it is. The problem is that you're looking at it. The problem is that you're addicted to looking at it. You look at the worst parts of your being. I told you the other day, and I'll get in big trouble for it. A person is not depressed. They're looking at a depressed part of their being. It can change like that. If I'm depressed because my girlfriend or boyfriend left me and I needed them more than anything and I haven't gotten up for a week or showered and there's pizza crust all over the floor and I can't do anything, right? And I told everybody, no, I feel terrible. I don't even know if I want to live. And it's just all messed up and I'm just so depressed. I don't see any reason to do anything ever again. All right, okay? And the phone rings. Hello? You usually don't answer it. Hello? Who? Sally? Hi. What? You miss me? You're so sorry that we broke up. You were so stupid to say the things you said, right? You wonder I could take you back? Yeah. I said, okay, come on over. How you doing? There, you're not depressed anymore, are you? All right? Because you're not depressed. You're looking at a depressed part of your psyche. Can the psyche get depressed? Can the psyche get all excited and think something special is going to happen and they get disappointed when it doesn't? You live inside the stupid psyche. You built this house out of past experiences and so on. And now it's all full of things that open and close you. And you're so silly that you are living inside of that maniacal mess, which is your psyche. And the only way you'll be okay is if it throws a tantrum, you get what it wants. You do it all the time. So basically you wake up. And you realize what the entire spiritual journey, in fact, your entire life is about, is called self-realization. Realizing who's in there noticing this stuff. Now, that's not easy because we're very addicted to our self-concept. You literally use the word I to describe your ego. I like this. I don't like that. Oh, my God, I got so hurt when she said this. No. You don't get to use the word I. That's illegal. I'm the I. I'm the one who watches him say that, aren't I? I'm the witness. I'm the consciousness. I'm always there. How can he use the word I? He changes from one thing to another. So that's how identified we are with the self-concept. Do you understand that? There's no addiction anyone ever had that is stronger than your addiction to your ego. Yes, you could be a drug addict, but you know you're a drug addict. I got to get some drugs. You don't know you're addicted to your ego. You think you are your ego. You literally think, this is me. Take it or leave it. Okay? And most people will leave it. But eventually, believe me, they'll leave it, right? But you just get down to where you understand the difference between the consciousness that is aware of what the mind is doing and aware of what the heart is doing, and the consciousness that is completely lost in, buried in, identified with. That's a big word. You are identified with your ego. All right. So now let's go a little more positive. You're going to find out someday that's why you're not okay. It is not true that you're not okay because you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or people aren't treating you well or this or that or you didn't get your degree and you're not sure what your career is and your parents aren't happy with what you're doing. That's not why you're not okay. Listen to me. This is tough. Those are the things that your ego is telling you that if you get them, I'll be okay. You're not okay because you got an ego. Right? You're not okay because you're locked inside of a house of horrors that just keeps changing its mind and it changes its heart. And you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. Yes, for short periods of time you do. And the trouble is that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If he talks to me, oh my God, he's so cute. I love him so much. And oh my God, we just die. And he walks over to talk to you. You're going crazy. He could have just well said, oh, we don't come to see me. I already heard what he's like. And he starts walking towards you. You're doing it. You did it. Let's say you said that. If he talks to me, I don't know him. He's weird. I don't talk to him. Somebody says, he's one of the nicest people. My God. Oh, okay. Hi. Some of your learned experiences. You don't see it that close, do you? You don't realize that is a learned experience. And then if the person walks up to you before this person you don't like walks up to you, now you love them, and says, just kidding, he's a schnook. How do you feel now? Learned experience, learned experience, learned experience. It completely programs how you open and close and everything. Wake up. And now you're neurotic. That's neurotic. You just yo-yo up and down and this and that. So the problem, you can give all the psychological names you want to it. That's not the problem. That's what your ego is. The problem is you think you're your ego. The consciousness doesn't have a single problem. Just like the light does not have I'm telling you right now, your consciousness, your awareness of being, does not have one single problem ever. In fact, by the time we're done, you're going to see it's way beyond not having problems. It's the most beautiful thing in the whole universe. But you are staring at something that has serious problems, and you're identified with it. So what does it become? Your spiritual journey becomes what? How do I extricate myself from this false identification with the ego? Liberation. That's what extricating yourself from it is. Liberation is not reaching for God. My God, you have this anchor that's holding you down. Why do you think you can keep the anchor and reach for the non-anchor? Why do you think the boat that's totally anchored is going to sail? Because you're pedaling harder or the wind blows. No, it's not about that. I know it makes me cry because you're taught the crazy stuff. Here, there's a hot air balloon. Y'all like hot air balloons. Beautiful, colored, hot, all those things, right? And it's going to fly. And you're in the gondola. I call that a gondola, little basket. You're in the gondola. It's not going anywhere. Well, put some more hot air in there or some more helium. No, it's not going anywhere. Why? Because it's, are you ready? Tethered. There are these cords. They call them tethers. There's a tether on each corner of the gondola that is nailed, spiked into the ground. And now you're putting more helium in. No. It's really funny. Don't put more helium in there. Don't put more hot air in there. That's ridiculous. That's not the problem. Don't sit there and reach for these higher states. Oh my God, why can't I experience these things? I want to blah, 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 blah. You're anchored. That's why. No one's higher than you. You're just more anchored than somebody else in certain areas. Everybody's free in one area and not in another. It's very complex, all right? But the point is, if you want to go up, take off the anchors. That's your work. Your work is not reaching up. It's not. And your work is certainly not trying to attract to yourself what you want, because that's just feeding the ego. It's not about getting what you want. People ask me all the time, what about laws of attraction? There's absolutely a law of attraction, but it's not about getting what you want. That's just another way of binding yourself to your ego. And just another way of trying to get what you need to be okay, when I know that you're beyond okay. If you take away the tethers, if you take away what's binding you down, anchoring you down. So that's a whole other journey of how do I let go of the ego. That's what I wanted to talk about, but I had to lay the groundwork. First, you have to want to, because everybody else doesn't want to. They want to get what it wants, right? So it's like saying, well, how do I work with a kid that's throwing tantrums? Well, that's a better question than how do I get him what he wants, because that ain't going to work, all right? How do I work with the ego? First, you have to know you have one. Otherwise, it owns you. It owns you. You'll do what it says because it makes you suffer unless you do. You suffer if you don't get what it wants, and you feel real good if you get what it wants, right or wrong. Well, a heroin addict feels real, real bad if he doesn't get the heroin. It feels real, real good when he gets it. Don't kid yourself. That's what addictions do, right? And the self, the consciousness, is addicted to looking down at the mind, the heart, the psyche, the self-concept, the psyche. How does one extricate themselves from that? There are people who, I don't like to talk about it, because to me, people have different techniques, and it's wonderful. There are people who try to rip it off, try to tear it off. Ramdas once said, really beautiful, you can't tear the skin off a snake. It has to molt. It has to fall off naturally. It's the same thing with the ego. They can have you do all these powerful things to try and destroy your self-concept. No. What will happen is you'll develop a spiritual ego. I can walk on fire. I can do better than you. I can put up with anything. Who's that? It's still the same guy. I can handle anything. But whoa, you just built a spiritual ego. Ego is a chameleon. It'll go anywhere you leave it room. So if you sit there and try to tear the ego off, all you're doing is trying to throw away that part of the ego that you're addicted to, and you'll have a total another one. It's called the spiritual ego. You have a spiritual self-concept. I can do this. I'm stronger than you are. My will is so strong I can do anything. I can meditate 20 hours at a time for a solid week. That's just a spiritual ego. It's still the I. What if somebody says, well, I can meditate 21 hours for 3 weeks? You slink away. It's like, it's just the same thing. It just took on different clothes. So the Gita says something. The Gita is very, very deep, by the way. No matter how deep we talk, the Gita is deeper. Somebody once asked Yukteswar, Yogananda's guru, and he was a jnana yogi, brilliant, wisdom, and fully enlightened. Somebody once asked him, "Do you know the Bhagavad Gita?" And he said, "My eyes have passed across its pages many times, but I would not say I know it." All right? You're talking about deep stuff. But in any event, there's a line in the Gita that says, one should raise the self with self, not trample down the self. For self which is self's friend can become self's foe. And it's using Atman, capital and lowercase. Okay? What is that saying? It's saying it's not for you who's waking up a little bit and realizing, oh my God, I got this mess that's holding me down, right? One should raise the self with self, not trample down the self. It's not about ripping it off. It's not about yelling at it. It's not about hating it. It's not about, no, you're not going to get anywhere that way. Isn't that beautiful? For self, which is self's friend, can become self's foe. All right? And in the end, it's going to blow up on you. It's just a form of suppression. It's just a form of denial. It's just, right? So what's the right state? The real highest state? I have an ego. Thank you. Right? So do you. You have an ego, don't you? And it's sometimes okay, and sometimes hard to live with, and sometimes wonderful. And it's just the ego. I got one of those things. And it overcomes me. It can overcome you. You can sit there and say, all right, I know it's a sensitive subject for her. I really want to get along with her. I really hate what she did. It's really bothering me a lot. I don't want to talk about it. I'll go there. I'll meet with her, and I want to have a nice interaction to change things around. What do you want to bet you talk about it? What do you want to bet? You stand there at some point in that conversation, she says something or something happens, and the next thing you know, no, nobody knows what I'm talking about? It's strong, isn't it? It has real power. It has the power to pull you out of your intention. And the next thing you know, you're looking back saying, oh, darn, I didn't want to say that. That's how strong the ego is. So what do I do? How do I work with it? First, you look at it from your seat of consciousness, and you see, yes, I have one. You know the place you really see the difference? If you do meditate, look, I don't talk about meditation. I love meditation. But if you meditate and don't do the real work of removing the anchor, you'll just keep trying to get higher and higher, and you will not. And if you do, you'll come back. I said early in my path, after I used to meditate 6 hours a day, every single day. That's all I did. All right? Very disciplined. Then I realized, yes, I can go in meditation, but I come back. And I said to the Master, no more. I can still meditate some, but no more. I don't want to experience a state that I can't keep. Do you understand that? I don't want it to be an experience. I want it to be a state of being. That's what I want for you. And you're totally capable of it, and they won't teach you this. They teach you how to have some quick experience or how to get what you want, and so on. That's not what it's about. It's about little by little, but really thinning out the ego, thinning out and realizing your relationship and getting comfortable enough to where you can let that thing go. Compassion, you have compassion for yourself. One should raise the self with self, not trample down the self. I do not teach you to hate your ego. You're not to hate your ego. I don't care what it's done. I don't care how ugly it is. I don't care what crazy things it says. I don't care. And I don't want you to care. Yukteswar said, an ignored guest quickly leaves. I don't want you to kill your ego. I want you to learn not to hang out with it. You are not your ego. And you can learn that, okay, I have this ego, and it causes big trouble in my life. And it causes things to happen that I'm not comfortable with. In the past, I've certainly caused a lot of stuff that I'm embarrassed about and not comfortable with, and so on and so forth. Hurt people, did things, said things, whatever the heck it is. Okay? Fine. Good. Look at it. Understand what it is. That's not a problem, anything you ever did. It's not a problem. The only time it's a problem is if you would do it again on purpose. Did you hear me? If you ever hurt somebody before, and you did, at any point during your life, I don't care why you did it then, I don't care what you did. I'm serious. Listen to me. What matters is if the same situation happened again, would you purposely do the same thing again to hurt the person? And most of you would sit there and say, what, are you kidding? Of course not. That means you learned your lesson. And that's what you're here for. So that's one way to start to thin out the absurdity of your relationship with your ego. it causes things to happen and it feels guilty about the fact that they did them, doesn't it? It's just a mess. It causes nothing but a mess. And so you wake up and realize, I don't have to do that. I don't have to participate in that. I can use life to raise myself. And what you want to do is bring your lower energies with you, not by doing them, but by raising them. That's the essence of yoga. The essence of yoga is not asanas and all this stuff. It is, can you raise the energies inside so that they're going up instead of down or out? Their energies can go up. So how does one go about forming a healthy relationship with their ego? Because even to work on forming a healthy relationship with the ego means you understand you're not your ego. That alone, I'm proud of you. If you sit there and say, I'm trying, but he keeps pulling me down, good, I'm proud of you. You realize that you're trying to change the relationship, but it's very strong. It's like a drug addict trying to off a drug. Yes, I'm committed, but the withdrawal pains are, right? But they do it, don't they? They do get off. You can wean yourself of your addiction to the ego. How? I've taught you over and over again. I've done this 50 years, right? So I've learned a few things, and I've worked with a lot of people. And by the way, I don't have to work one-on-one. I don't have anyone I work one-on-one with. I never have. It's just that people can learn the teachings and practice, and you can support by having a place like this or being around other people that are doing it. That's enough. You are your own growth. You are your own path. You have your own ego. Believe me, it's different than everybody else's. So what do? You sit there one day, and I hope this is the day, and you realize, I'm in here. Check. Say, pilot. Check. Motor. Check before we take off. Checklist, all right? Do you have an ego? Yes. Okay. Has it done things in the past that you're not proud of? Yes. Is it true that it gets what it wants, it opens, and you feel wonderful? Yes. Is it true that if it gets what it doesn't want or you don't get what you want, it gets yicky? Yes. Okay. Wake up. Welcome to reality. All right? Do you notice that you notice? Are you awake enough to notice that you notice what it's doing? All right? Now, what do? How do I get out? How do I free myself? How do I extricate myself? How do I thin out the anchor? Little by little. Little by little. The big, quick stuff doesn't last and do stuff. So what does that mean? I've taught you. Your everyday life is the most important part of your spiritual growth. Why, when you do meditation and asanas and everything, they say, did you do your practices today? Don't they say that? Well, wait a minute. Practice for what? Everyday life. Those are just practices. You're practicing being conscious. You're practicing staying centered. You're practicing breathing. You're practicing relaxing. All right? But if you then get up, I start to tell you, one of the biggest ways to see the ego is go into meditation, go into a deep meditation. I hope you do. I love it. Go into a deep meditation. I want to know why you come back. Not why you got up from the pillow. It's time you have to go do something. I want to know why you're just stoned out of your mind. Beautiful energy's flowing. You just feel, whew, you feel wonderful. Why do you go down? Why, when you meet somebody, you go to work, and you drive the car, and you go to the traffic, you like that state, don't you? Why do you leave it? You don't even have a chance. You don't do it purposely. The ego just takes over. And next thing you know, you're not high anymore. No. Unacceptable. What I want is that you come into the day realizing the meaning of my life, not the meaning of the day, the meaning of every day of my life is to let go of what's anchoring me. Not to rip it off, to let it go, little by little. How? There's a hand say, well, how do I know what part? There's so much in there. How do I know what part to let go next? The one that's in front of you. That's so silly. How do I know what to do on an assembly line? What just passed by you? It's right in front of you. It will come up when somebody says something, somebody doesn't say something, the traffic is different, the weather's different. It comes up all the time, doesn't it? It's a manic complainer, isn't it? It's got something to say about everything. Little by little, keep your center and realize the meaning of my life is to work with these little things. The meaningless little things that you bother yourself about. How do I do that? I have learned that the highest way to do that is relaxation. That if I always use the example of driving in traffic. You're driving in traffic, into the traffic jam, the light changed when you didn't want it to, driver in front of you is driving like an idiot, all kinds of things go on, and you complain about every single one of them. Don't you? But it doesn't change anything. You complain all you want, nothing changed. So you wake up. And you realize that's my spiritual growth. What? Working with my ego, me, the consciousness, knowing this is a waste of time to bother myself about something that's not going to change. And the reason it's bothering me is I'm bothering myself about it. I told you Oprah's favorite line in the new book is, the moment in front of you is not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. The weather is not bothering you. It's just weather. The car is not bothering you. But the person said, you're bothering yourself about it. How do you know? If you didn't bother yourself about it, it wouldn't bother you. Is that too circular for you? If you didn't bother yourself about it, it wouldn't bother you. So I know you can't do that with the big things. I don't want you to do it with the big things. I want you to do it with the little things, the tiny little things. That's what it means to raise the self with self. You reach down and say, you don't have to be bothered by this. It's okay. There's a child in there, doesn't know squat. Take it by the hand. It's okay. The driver in front of you can drive the way they need to drive. It's not a big deal. So I like to drive. I don't want to say fast, but at least 5 miles over the speed limit. Probably more. And I'll pass somebody, right? And I always watch him feel like an idiot if he passed somebody and then a mile down the road there's a stop sign and they pull right behind me. It was like, okay, that was really good. Nice move. Believe it or not, that is called working with yourself. You notice yourself, you notice the event, you notice that you feel funny about it, you just notice everything. And little by little you raise yourself. Have fun. Some people play video games. They try to get from one layer to the next layer, levels and all that kind of stuff. Here, you're playing a video game, and your ego's Pac-Man. All right? Can you deal with it? Can you have fun dealing with it? So if you sit there and you do that, and you notice that he or she is being a little weird about this tiny little thing, laugh, have fun. And then if it gets a little weird and it's embarrassed a little bit, it's okay. It's okay. Raise the self with self. As opposed to trying to get everything the way the lower self wants it to be, you're higher than that. Raise it up. And if you will do that on a regular basis, people write from all over the world. They write us all the time. We get so many emails, I can't keep up with them, all right? And most of them say thank you. I've never seen such a thing. Their author would get stuff like that, right? Most of them just say thank you. How can I thank you? My whole life has changed. By doing what? What I just told you. Well, why would it not? If you're sitting or bothering yourself, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be bothered. Now I need to find somebody who makes me not bothered about the things I bothered myself about. If somebody loved me enough, that's crazy. Work with yourself, raise yourself, and then what's going to happen is your ego will thin out. Why? It doesn't, let me tell you right now, your ego doesn't want to have all the problems it has. It's scared. It's not evolved enough to handle this world. Okay? It built this concept of itself and it really believes it has to get what it wants. You really believe you have to get what you want. You really believe your husband has to behave the way you want them to. You really believe your kids have to behave the way you want them to. You really do. People write me all the time. That's another thing they write. Can you please tell me about my kids? I'm a mother and it's so maternal and they get in trouble and it hurts me so much. What can I do? You can understand that there are children and they're going to go through what they're going through and you're lucky enough to be present as a conscious being to help them go through what they're going through. But you're not supposed to be freaking out about it. You're supposed to be, I can't sleep at night. Do you understand that? So you need to raise yourself. You need to keep raising yourself. You just keep raising yourself. And you want to know what? I'm doing this. And you know what I mean by doing this? You're raising yourself. You are literally doing pranayama. Those you understand yoga and the chakras and the whole thing, if you are raising yourself, bringing that part of you up, you are opening the chakras. You're literally going to find out someday all of a sudden all the energy is pouring out of your chakras all by themselves. You never did a single thing. They meditate on them, no mantras, no nothing. But you remove the blockages. Their natural state is open. I told you, your natural state, wave your hand across your heart and go into ecstasy. Wave your hand across the top of your head and go into ecstasy. Any chakra you cross, the energy will just go flying through you when you're open. If you're closed and nothing happens, the only thing you can do is have somebody say something nice to you, then it'll open. That's because your ego is running your life. So now you understand what I mean by raise yourself. Do you understand that? This is the essence of yoga. It's the highest thing you can do. Every minute of every day, your ego is bothering you. You're worrying about things. You're anxious about things. You're bothered by things about the past. Everything you're worried about somebody's going to do in the future. He's like, that's just your ego. That's just the sum of your learned experiences being neurotic. You don't have to live like that. You can't change the past, but you can change how you deal with the past. You can't change that your parents got divorced, But you can change how you're processing it 20 years later. So what's going to happen? You start opening. You start not closing. I've taught that before too. You don't know how to open. Open your heart right now. You don't know how to. Don't close. You know how to. You feel it start to close. Don't do that. Isn't that beautiful? If you don't close, you'll be open. This is what it means to work with. Doesn't sound esoteric enough. People used to say, Mickey doesn't teach techniques. I do so. They're just not the techniques you think are techniques. I do pranayama. Okay, it's not that you don't do these things. It's that unless you do what I'm talking about, you're just using them to overcome your anchor. And it won't last. You have to be willing to thin out the anchor. You have to be willing to let go of the anchor. Every moment of every day, your ego bothers you. Your ego runs your life. You try to get people to like you, don't you? You do try to get people to like you. You're sitting on a tiny little planet. By the way, I say this all the time. I saw a picture the other day. I don't know if you looked it up, but there was a giant, one of the largest sunspots, sun flares, solar flares that have happened in a very, very long time. And when they showed the pictures, they showed, here's the sun glowing. They showed in a little corner, for relative, this is the planet Earth size. I swear to God, the sun's this big. The Earth's this little tiny dot. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, and you care whether people like you. And you care whether you have a little zit on the side of your face. And you care whether you dropped anything on your pants. And you care whether you're getting old and lines are showing up. And what is wrong with you? Wake up. You're born and you're going to die. Good, have a good time. Right? You're born, you're going to die, and all kinds of stuff can happen in between. Can you handle it? No, it has to be exactly the way you want it to be, and it's not. So you can do all kinds. That is a way of raising yourself. I do it I used to do it all the time. I trained him, unbelievable. I get into my car, this was back in the 70s. I get into my car, before I start the car, he's in outer space, watching a planet spin in the middle of nowheres and galaxies flying around. I'm sitting on this little ball of dirt, and I'm about to go, toot-toot, and drive around a little ball of dirt in the middle of nowheres. And I do the same thing when I get out of the car. I trained him. I worked with it. Nobody taught me to do that. I trained him. And then I'm running a business. I have phone calls that come in. Every single time, I'm CEO of this public company, every time the phone rang and the receptionist sent the phone over there and it buzzed, I did that. I went away first, then I picked up the phone. When I hung up the phone, went away. It works. You can train yourself. You can raise yourself. Do you understand that? And if you don't, then this ego is going to run your life. There's going to be neurotic. Oh, who's calling? Oh my God, what will I do? Or you hang up. Did I say the right thing? I don't. Let at least the first thing you do before you pick it up and when you hang it up, I'm sitting on a little planet in the middle of nowhere, and it doesn't make one hoot of a difference what happened on that call. Just still do my best, just for fun. You play a video game or a sport, of course you try to do your best. What fun is it to play a sport and you don't try to do your best? Why bother? But it doesn't mean anything. That's life. You understand? So basically you start raising yourself by doing this all the time. But what about my job? Of course you do your job. Somebody asked me once, well, you said to do, mantra is a good thing to do, or staying centered in consciousness. Well, what about if I'm an engineer and I bury myself into my job and the next thing I know I'm all working and an hour goes by and I didn't do my mantra for that hour. Good! You're not supposed to do your mantra. Then you're supposed to be completely merged into the one-pointedness of the work you're doing, as long as it doesn't use the word I. When you're very deep into your work, you're serving. You're giving of yourself. Play the music. Don't sit there and try to stay detached from the music while you're playing it. Merge yourself into the music. Lose yourself. Lose yourself in your work. Lose yourself in the music. Lose yourself in the sport. But don't lose yourself in your ego. That's the difference. It's all spiritual practice if you let it be. Okay, so you lost yourself in your work, you're designing something, whatever the heck it is, and you come back out, and all of a sudden the mind says, oh boy, they're going to like me for this. I'm going to get some kudos off of this. And then they come in and say, what did you do? You wasted your time. Throw that away. How you doing? How you doing, guys? You should be doing? Well, fine, I'll throw it away, but it was fun doing it. You don't need anybody's approval. The reason you need their approval is because your ego needs their approval. Your ego's not okay, and it's trying to be okay by other people telling it it's good. When you start to understand it's all about thinning out, there's a wonderful opportunity to thin out. Do your best, do your best, do your best. Then accept whatever happens, whatever comes back. Then just fine. It's not about getting other people's approval. Why do you need other people's approval? I know you do. And you're not gonna, this is too deep. You're not going to rip it off at once. Why do you need other people's approval? Because I'm not okay. And I made up a me, didn't I? I made up a me, and I'm offering it to you. And you better say, oh, I like you. I like you. You're very special. Oh, my God. How did you learn that? That's wonderful. You did that? That's wonderful. How you doing? All right? But what if they say, oh, my God, that's disgusting. I can't believe you even think of doing something like that. Boy, are you in trouble. How you doing now? Your ego's not okay. So it's the same thing. I'm trying to get what it needs to be okay and avoid the other. Fine. It'll be that way for a while. Don't worry. Little by little, raise it. And eventually, it will not be that way. Eventually, you wake up in the morning, you say, hi, I'm back. All right? You won't have any trouble sleeping either. I'm back. And you know what you'll see? You couldn't care less what happens all day. It's going to be fun. I'm just sitting on a tiny little planet spinning in the middle of nowhere. And it doesn't make any difference what happens. But I'm going to do my best. And what? Whatever's in front of me. I'll do my best. I'll eat the best. I'll take the garbage out the best. I'll wash the dishes the best. I'll go to work the best. I'll do every single thing the best I can because it's fun. It's a sport. You can live like that. And then at night you giggle. You know, it's fun. You go to bed and do it again the next day. How would you like to live like that? Hear me? What did Christ say? Lest ye be as little children. So this is how you work with yourself. You don't rip the ego off. You shed it. It sheds. How do you shed it? By not supporting it. By not defining yourself as it and then doing every single thing you can to get what it wants. But you will have to be able to tolerate what it feels like to be shedding it. It's there because it's scared. You understand that? It's all about fear. You're afraid to talk to somebody that might like you. You may fit your dress. How do you dress a certain way? Every single thing is fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of not being loved. Fear of all this kind of stuff. That's ego. All right? Little by little. Like I've heard tell that there are people who stand in front of the wardrobe, which is quite big, and put on different outfits and look in the mirror and then try another one and then look in the mirror and then try another one. They're probably late for work. What exactly are you doing? And I don't mind if you do it. I think it's adorable, right? But the net result, what are you doing? You're trying to see how to impress people. You're trying to see what will bring about acceptance. So basically, you're trying to see what will get the ego what it wants. And so it's not that you don't do that, but you notice. I want you to notice. I want you to notice. Every time you put it on and take it off, every time you stand in front of the wardrobe and try to decide what to wear, I want you to notice what's going on inside of you. The fear of rejection, the hope for acceptance, etc., 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 right? Just noticing makes a difference, I'm telling you. That's why witness consciousness is so powerful. Objective observation, Krishna already called it. Notice and just relax. My experience is, it's not about fighting with it, it's about relaxing through it. If it wants to change the clothes, just relax, watch it do it, relax, don't fight, don't get mad at it, just relax. And little by little, it won't have the power it had over you, right? You'll put it with it on and you say, okay, enough. This is what we're going to wear today, all right? It's like, have fun. I want you to have fun. Shedding the ego is fun. It's a fun game. And what happens is the less there is, the higher you are. The less there is, the less there is to worry about. What if somebody wants you to say, oh my God, how are you wearing that? That looks disgusting. I thought so. I love it. Wouldn't that be fun, right? Or if they sit there and say, oh my God, you look beautiful. Wait till tomorrow. Or thank you for noticing. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't that be fun to be able to go out there and not care like that? Not that I don't care, because then you really do care, right? But you actually don't care. You actually have a good old time. All right. So we've had a deep talk about not ripping off the ego, not destroying the ego, not throwing away the ego, not denying the ego, shedding the ego. You shed it little by little. Little by little, you shed it. And what happens then, you get stronger. And because you're stronger, you're more able to shed it. And at some point, I'm not going to stop. I've been through a lot. You will reach a point where it has shed enough. Life has given you the opportunities to shed enough that the energy will change direction and it will start flowing up. You don't realize it's flowing down now, but everything you're doing is down, right? Down in your heart, down in your mind, down out here. It'll start flowing up. And then what happens is you'll reach a point where literally something will happen. And the tendency of ego would have been to reach out and do something, and it reaches up to be with you. Just like the child who finally trusted you, and instead of pulling away, hugs you. You understand that? It realized that there's something going on inside behind it that's higher than anything that can go on outside. And so it starts reaching up. That's when it changes direction. When the whole thing starts reaching up. Now you're talking spiritual growth, but we'll do that another time. I think we've done enough tonight. Jagged.